Hello. So, been a couple days, and I decided to try something new, something which I had kind of had planned for a little while. I bought this around the same time, but I think it was Insurmountable for my first ever stream. Jesus, that's loud. Let me turn this down a bit more. Sorry, just 2 secs. There doesn't seem to be an actual options menu anywhere for me. So I have to manually just adjust it by the volume mixer. There we go. Oh god, this is a bit of a great start. Yeah, so I got this around the same time as Insurmountable and decided that, you know, now was the time I wanted to do a solo stream. So, let's just dive straight in. I don't actually know a whole lot. I've only read like the basic description and seen some of the screenshots. Otherwise, that's about as much as I know about the game. Here we go. Just give me a shout if it's too loud, because it's actually kind of loud for me too. Because, yeah, no in-game volume sliders. Woo. not a strong start, but... Oh? Okay. That's a lot of shit on the screen. There isn't any time left. This is going to be more restrictive than you're used to, but you are resourceful, I know you. Everything's written in ASCII. Sweet. I'm sorry, okay. But I can't let them find you? I can't lose everything we've achieved. Hell. Indescribable gibberish. Okay, awesome. User disconnected. Let's just continue with the boot. Reboot the system. Well, this is something. I did not expect this. I need all systems of the suit activating. Okay. I'm locked out and I'm 20 meters below the surface. Oh boy. I would not want to be underwater. Not on an alien world, that's for certain. Actually, not in general. Can the pilot please respond? How do I respond? Okay, okay, the circle. Right, good. Operators activate all. God damn it! Activate all systems. Oh shit. Topography, heading, height, utility, power, oxygen. Yeah, scan the topography. Looking good. Yeah, good. Oxygen. Let's find out if they can breathe. Okay, so rebreathing's working. That's good. Depth. Okay, her depth is accurate. That's good. And your heading. Let's see what that is. I'm seeing the heading panel coming across online. Excellent. Sweet. Utility. I don't know what's on here. Random shit that we'll work out later, I'm sure. And then power. Okay, plenty of power. I'm guessing that's the overall bar, and that's something to do with the consumption, maybe? We'll find out. So I guess surfaces is up. You don't seem to know what you're doing. You're not an operator. No, not in the slightest. I'm installed in this suit. Help me out of here. Sure. I'll give it a go. You're gonna die horribly, I'm sure. I knew there was something strange about this suit when I got inside. It looks decades old. Probably don't trust a decade-old diving suit with an AI. Look, we don't have time for this. Whatever program or system you are, I need you to work with it. Yep. No questions there. You seem to respond to voice commands, so that's a start. We need to head north. I'll explain once we get going, but right now I'm locked out of half the systems of this suit. Someone, somehow, has rewritten the permissions only to respond to internal messaging. That means you. Oh boy. I'm going to need you to take control and let's get moving. Take me north into the reef. Wait, what? You want to go into the reef? Not away from? That seems questionable to me. What buttons go? Okay, so this is direction. That's the topography scan. Steep rock walls rise up towards the surface of each side. The floor is layered with pear sand. Okay, so that gives me a little bit of a description of that. Oh, okay, so I can program it towards things. Okay, so I gotta head to different waypoints. Good, whatever you're doing is working. Let's keep heading north. So, scan again. We set a new waypoint. Boulder fills the passage, blocking out the warm light of Gliese 667 CC's 3 stars. Man, that's a lot of the stars. Do they have a night time? Or are they just trapped in permanent day? Because that would be kind of hell, but also kind of neat. Can I just freely travel in a direction? Okay, let's zoom in. What does this do? I don't know. What about this? Something about biohazards. Biosamples? And retrieving things. Okay, I'm not going to touch any of that. Scan it again. Next is gully opening. Passage opens out. Back into the dappled light of the reef shut. What does dappled mean? Good question. One I don't have the answer for, so let's just go forward. We'll see what's happening in this next zone. So we've got some soft characters, signs of rich and thriving life. Ooh. Do we get to see any of this? Oh, what is all that? Look like huge fungi. Look at Manai. Manai? Who? Oh, okay. Scientist, maybe? Person? Sure. Well, I know there's some telltale signs and approach, but here it is. First extraterrestrial life humanity has ever discovered. And it's fucking underwater mushrooms. Awesome. At least it isn't immediately going to kill us. Let's hit these northern ones first, I guess. Bed of stalks. Fungal creatures made up of a series of stalks and plates attached to the rock. It ranges from dark amber to acid yellow. Bring how they communicate and feed. Keep scanning creatures and shit. Okay. This creature's external membrane appears to be made of layers of chitin, like earth arthropods or fungi. Wait, can fungi have chitin as a layer? I never knew that. If that's the case, that would look kind of weird. I would have thought though, like an almond mushroom. What? Yeah, let's move forward a little bit then. See what else we can scan. Oh, it freaks out. I was a bit slow on the scan, I'm sorry. I'm seeing a complex pattern of contracting and expanding slits in this stalk's membrane. Mouths or sensing organs? Good question. These colonies are producing shifting sound, perhaps as a form of communication between individuals. This is giving me some Nautica vibes to a degree. Oh, sweet. We can catch them. Straight with luminous colours, and these flexible flapping creatures move through rapidly through the water with little effort. So they're basically just high-speed eels. Oh, they maneuver with a series of jets concealed beneath their folded mantles. Incredibly fast. That's kind of cool, actually. Just, you know, water jetting all around. Like, what? It's like that, kind of like the opposite of that water jetpack, I suppose, but underwater. Man, that could be pretty fun, actually. I hate the water, but the idea of just propelling yourself through the sea at high speeds using jets of water, especially to be able to like rapidly change your direction, that could be quite fun. Oh shit, the power is going down. I'm guessing maybe every time I move. Among the spores, clogged stalks and piles of small stems. Could a creature have gathered them here, or is there just currents? Okay, so could potentially be a nest, maybe? Stalks are all covered in spores of different sizes. She wants to capture one. The biosample is this one, right? I need to retrieve it. Oh no, it's this one. Go. Oh, okay. So you locate it, then you lock it in, and then it goes into your storage. Okay. This suit should allow you to deploy any samples back into the ocean, so you can catch and release. Right, you test it out. Hold and drag over to the central compass. So we caught it, and we're just going to immediately let it out. And done. It's just, it's nice that you get to see the like little, like pop out of it a little bit. Okay. Why are these ones in particular? I wonder. Yeah, that's pretty much. I wouldn't say messages, but it's definitely probably just a case of food, I imagine. I'm seeing spores entering and accessing the slits on the surface of the stalk. Something is being exchanged. Oh, never mind. When maybe just yeah, maybe then. I actually kind of agree with that now that I read more. I mean, they're using basically the same principles, so I suppose so. Yeah, let's keep moving. Where are we going? Are we going more northwards again? We've got the spore flow that way, and we've got a silent clearing. Let's go check out the clearing first. Yeah, I figured there'd be more spores this way. So we can scan them, get a little bit more information. Seem to be broken up into individual patches and then larger groups over a wide area. Okay. So they're all like little small neighborhoods and they kind of eventually all form like a giant city of fungi, I guess. That's one way of looking at it, I suppose. But yeah, let's just get over there. Sure, ask away. No, I'm not an AI. They're predictable, programmatic. Their intelligence allows them to log and process data, and that's all. To be fair, that's all that I'd want my AI to do. Yes, I completely understand. Yes is my answer. Yes, I am the suit now. Okay, carrying on forward. What have we got? I'm just going to put away the inventory. More stalks, fungal creatures which communicate through sounds and spores in interlocking ecosystems seeded across the reef. That is a pretty uninspired name. You could have called them mushroom tubes or water recorders. I don't know. Anything other than reef stalks, like literally just basically you took one look at them, went, that's a stalk, it's in a reef. Bam, creature name. Seems kind of dull. Actually, before I go over in any direction specifically, can I not unselect that? Damn it. I was hoping to be able to... Oh, okay, no. I was going to see if the big yellow thing allowed me to propel myself forward, but I suppose I can just point at marked things. But I should just scan all of these first, it seems. It gives you a, gives you information on the environment. Okay. Oh, Jesus, that's a lot. Some of it we already know. Static creature made up of one huge flexible stalk. Unclear if swaying is due to the current or is produced by the stalk's own body. Leaking spores into the water, and as the fruiting bodies attach to their skin, bloom. Many of these stalks are leaking particles into the water as they sway. Are those spores or something else? I mean... absolutely wild idea, but it could be similar to, you know, like dandelion seeds, maybe, where they release their, basically just release seeds out into the wild and hope that some of them stick and make colonies, and that could be how they reproduce, maybe? I don't know. These larger stalks sway all the way around the basin. They almost resemble branchless trees bending in a storm. Well, let's go investigate. Oh shit. They've trapped us in. That is concerning. Okay, large stalks. The chitin of this stalk's membrane is very hard but flexible. But flexibility is given by a surface of overlapping plates. Kind of like a suit of armament. And there's a feeding ground here. I sense danger in this direction, but it is the only place I can go now. That stalk is totally calcified. Looks like a good sample candidate. Oh, you are the chief, so... let's see what this is. A shelled creature. Mobile creature with large translucent shell and 4 swimming appendages, which is used in a rapid... It's a see-through turtle. It's just a see-through turtle. Ghost turtle. The plates of the stalk surfaces passing over one another must be producing the distinctive hum that can be heard. Man, they should have had some turtles in Subnautica. I'd have loved to see something like that. Everything else scared the shit out of me. The growth gets heavier as we travel north into the stalk's forest. Something about giving it that name makes it feel safer, more familiar. Yeah, we are not going that way. That is a zone to get trapped in, that's for certain. There's a separate purpose on the lower beds. There's something I can catch there. It's safe to assume that the singing of these stalks relates to communication between the colonies seen elsewhere on the reef. Okay, we've given them a better name now, sing stalks. That's nice. I actually... That works quite well. Okay. Let's go see this calcified stalk then. And let's take it for ourselves. Open up the... Yep. Extraction is this one, right? Yes, yes it is. Sample found. Fungal 15%. And grabbed. Okay, so the chitin appears to be hardened with calcium carbonate. That could be useful if we needed to boost our power. The suit is able to metabolize organic compounds to produce fuel. Just drag them to the power panel. Okay, so we got extra juice by using dead plants. No point wasting important samples. With these, we can keep one sample so we can analyze it back on the base and use the other for a power boost. Okay. We're gonna go to the pass because I don't trust the forest. Ah, shit, but that's a dead end. Shit. That's gonna close in on us afterwards, I know it. I don't like that idea, but... Oh no. Oh yeah, shit. My worst nightmare has come true. I think I'm in a dead end. This entrance is shadowed by the surrounding rocks. Well, we've got plenty of power and plenty of oxygen, so let's just keep trucking and hopefully we don't die. Our water is still in the yawning entrance to the cavern. There are no signs of stalks or other reef life around the entrance. Sweet, let's go. And if that's an entrance to a cave, does that mean we can dive upwards? No, it means we can dive downwards. That doesn't seem safe, but let's go. What do we have in store for us here? Patchy sunlight coming through the broken cavern roof is enough to allow stalks to grow here if that is what they require. Let's go. I guess we're soon finding out whether they need sunlight or not. If that's the case, they can't. Isn't 20 meters already kind of pushing it actually for light that comes through to the bottom of the water? I don't know enough about water. These stalks seem to watch over the smaller colonies. I'll start logging notes. Tall, bubble-coated stalk which sits amongst the reef. Stalk colonies covered in wide irising pores? Okay. See, I thought my vocabulary was pretty good, but this game is putting it to the test, that's for certain. Soft sunlight spills down onto a long, thin stalk, stretching towards the light. A coating of large, glassy bubbles glitters on the skin. Maybe those bigger ones, you know, help harvest the sunlight and are kind of like, oh, what's the term? Like nursing trees. The idea that they help provide nutrients to other plants, maybe. Stalk, clogged tunnel. Okay, we can't go any further. So I guess we just leave the tunnel for now. That's a shame. No? Weird, right? It wasn't allowing me to manually do that, but oh well. Forward we go. There's not much else we can do here, so we'll dive back up. Let's see if we can get past those stalks from earlier. Maybe they've opened the path back up now. Yes, sweet, the path is open. Oh no, never mind. Have I doomed us? Let's have a scan. We can't request retrieval. And I think we've dead-ended ourselves. I'm not sure what to do here. There's only so many directions we can move. Nothing to retrieve and just a fuel sample. Does it dead end here? Surely it can't. Okay, it's decided it can. Oh, there's a sample down here, though. Okay. Let's at least collect this. Oh, multiple samples. Lock it in and pull it in. And hello, buddy. You're coming with us, too. These gaseous bubbles are intriguing. Okay, so bubbles. The interior gas is at an elevated pressure. If this membrane ruptured, the sac would screech as it depressurized. Standard. If this is part of the Stork communication reef system we've seen across the reef. Wait, I have an idea. Try deploying one. So we're just going to yes, by screeching at the plants we can get them bugger off and clear our own path. She's calling them shrill sacs. Okay. We can use these to get through to the heavy growth ahead. Let's get moving. I agree. I don't want to get stuck and die in this cave. I already thought we were stuck once. Man, that is like up there with like worst ways to die. I think stuck underwater in a cave. Like being wet and confused and drowning is bad enough, but not even being able to see in a tight space it makes it even worse. God. It just makes me think of that time, was it the Philippine school kids got trapped in a cave and they had to send loads of divers out there, and it was a big massive collaboration effort to pull them out in the end. You're looking for Dr. Minai Nomura. Hello, Anonymous 09. All the way from Earth. Yeah, it must sound mad. Me out here to a planet full of planet in the tail of Scorpius just to follow a message. Huh. Wait, you don't you do know where we are, don't you? Not until you told me. Not at all. We're on Gliese 6. Oh yeah, that was mentioned earlier, but that doesn't really tell me where I am, to be fair. I do not know star maps. I don't even know if that's a real planet, actually. Good question, Anonymous. I'm not really sure myself. As far as I can tell, it seems to be some sort of exploration game based off of an water ecosystem on an alien planet. I bought this game on a whim, and it's an interesting concept at the very least. I've never seen a game like it. But I'm here to unravel the mystery, I guess. It's kind of neat, even if it feels a bit directed. Stalks of this kind seem to produce different bubbles depending on the nearby stalks. They are protectors of the colonies. Okay, so they have a defense mechanism too. Yeah, it certainly is interesting. It allows you to make some theories on the plants, and then the theories on the wildlife at the very least, because it builds up your knowledge slowly over time from the limited bit I've seen here so far. Which, if you know anything about plants or animals, you know, could be quite interesting. And even so, just following along the story, will probably have something interesting going on in it, I hope. So far we know there's a mysterious message, and also that we are playing as an unusual AI. So, there's some building blocks for a good story, that's for certain. Can't help but feel some unseen processes shaping the growth patterns on this reef. One visible borders am I crossing? In silt stalks among a bed of overgrowth, exuding bright bubbles through its pores. Let's go take a closer look. Oh, and there is even samples here. So pull out the sampling device. Sample located. Secure it. Oh, there's another shrill sac. That could be useful. Doesn't look like there's... Oh, no, there is more shell sacks. I'm going to grab as many as I can while I can. I don't know if they're going to be useful. And that's all she wrote in the area. Try to do a depth thing. Okay, what's here? Rocky outcrops. A violent geological past. Ooh, maybe there's some underwater volcanoes or thermal ducts around. More about what we know, some more sing stalks. Yeah. Yeah, let's go on ahead. Being on the sample screen. Stalk passages. The stalks are more sparse between the rock outcrops. This might be the easiest path north if I can clear the way. Well, I got plenty of shell sacks, so... Oh shit, wrong button. Anything interesting or notable about them? Ooh, something new. Shielded creatures. These creatures glide among the reef stalks with great care and precision. They appear to be grazing on them. Is that the turtle things, like the see-through turtles that we saw earlier? Maybe. I tend to just play a variety of games, but dude, just whatever catches my eye or fancy at the time. I've mostly been playing indies so far, and currently I'm also doing a playthrough of Dawn of War on here, with one of my friends. I've been playing some Rebel Inc. recently. I've played a little bit of Witcher on here. I just do a random variety of stuff. I've not really found something specific to focus towards yet. I'm always interested in playing different games, new types though, so if you ever have any suggestions, that would definitely be worth throwing a shout my way, because I am quite interested to hear about more different types of games. Stalks are thick, so... Vector is blocked, and we want to head straight north, so... There we go. A delicate set of feeding appendages beneath the creature's shell seems to scrape the outer membranes of the stalks away. Man, that just gives me mental images of a see-through turtle with the weird limbs, the... what were they called? The big reef anemones from Subnautica. Just weird little, like, tentacle appendages just dangling out and whacking into things and collecting food. That's kind of an interesting way to feed, though. I suppose it's also kind of similar to bees. Except, obviously, the bees stop to eat, whereas these guys seem to glide through. Nice little change, I suppose. Dense growth. Finding in a labyrinth. Yeah. That won't be fun, but I'd certainly be hacking myself here. Kind of a shame that this game doesn't have anything visual. Yeah, I agree with the Subnautica vibes. Man, I really like that game. I have like super big fears of being underwater, and both Subnautica games really shit me up, but the Frozen version definitely was a lot less scary. Maybe because I was just used to the routine at that point, but they were some very interesting games, and I really liked the stories for them. Some creatures target these tall stalks directly, perhaps because they keep them away from the other softer stalks nearby. Weird. Bubbles like huge pearls glimmer from these. Let's go have a look at them then. It's 3 shinies to collect. Just more shell sacks, isn't it? Is it all shell sacks? I'll catch one more, but I don't think I'm gonna need any more after that. I've got 5 of them. And when I go through here, I'm just gonna have to blow one of them. Oh wow, that did a lot more than I expected. what else is in the area there? More information. Signal stalks. The tall bubble-producing stalks that protect the colonies. Protect the mother's stalk colonies. A key part of the stalk network that stretches across the reef. Okay, so these are the ones which communicate between all of them. So you have ones which sing, ones which are like the big defenders, and then you just got your regular stalks which cause me no end of trouble navigating. More bubble producing stalks. Are they sentries designed for early warnings or last ditch defences of the colony's core? East and west there are stalks as far as the eye can see. They fade off into the silt like the towers of a miniature city. I'm just gonna ignore those samples because those would definitely be more shell sacks, because they're just describing the signal stalks again, which are the ones which seem to produce them. So what's down here? Spores from the stalks seem to be massing in large clumps. This might be a good place to sample them. Yeah, I actually agree on that. This might be something different, and that's what I'm hoping for. The more different things we see, the better. Stalk spores. I think we might have picked one up earlier in, like, the more tutorial stage of it. Are these the ones I can use for fuel, or... Well, I don't know, actually. Containing complex cocktail of minerals and compounds. Okay, I can use these as batteries. What happens if I deploy them? It just throws a bunch of spores out. Okay, that was relatively simple, I suppose. When these creatures scrape the stalks too aggressively, they retract and let out defensive signals to nearby colonies. Okay, so they can aggravate them and the colonies deal with stuff. Fussing around the reefs, these creatures chase stalk spores with great enthusiasm. Is this their primary food source? Ooh. My take might be a form of play or practice for hunting, maybe. Because if they're doing it so, like, happily, it feels weird for it to be like a feeding behaviour. Could be wrong, though. Probably wrong. Oh, wait, a new creature. There seems to be some tolerance for the creature scraping by the stalks. They only warn the creature when it cuts too deeply. So, kind of symbiotic a little bit, maybe? They don't mind being fed off of as long as it actually doesn't do any damage to the rest of the stalk. Interesting. Thank God we can get out of this forest. Kablam. Let's go. There we are. This place is overwhelming. So many new species. Not too many. We've seen about 5 so far. What do we have over here? A shady outcrop. And rippling silt. Let's go to the silt. We want to keep heading north to try and find this way station. Power and oxygen isn't... Well, oxygen seems to be kind of unlimited right now, but power definitely isn't. So my priority is getting us to a safe space. The centre of the reef is flat and sandy with few rocks to attach to the stalks. With few rocks to attach to, the stalks struggle to seed these waters. That's good for me. Ah! Way stations ahead. Even has some of those stalks growing on it. That's kind of neat. Kind of cute. Started to blend in with nature a little bit. It's seen better days, but it still functions beneath all the coating. This place is looking a little worse for wear. Let's see if we can find an access port. I mean, I never did take care of her equipment. Some things never change. Sorry, give me a sec. I'm just trying to... Got it. Okay, we should be able to access any data stored here. Just open the terminal and take a look. Map data. Let's have a look. Sync complete. Data released to pilot's console. Logs have been cleared. I expected that, given the secrecy Monet seems to be operating under. Great, so we have basically nothing. But the map data mentions something Monet calls the Bloom out across the Northern Rift. She's been going back and forth to something there, studying it. A unique species, perhaps. Monet, what are you doing here? Why would you keep... why were you keeping this discovery from the world? From me? There is going to be something monstrous and nasty. Calling it now. Yeah, let's head back to the research base. I need to think. Oh, we can call a retrieval drone straight here. Okay, that means I don't have to travel all the way across the ocean again. Map region connected. Link up. And drone ready. Let's go. Well, we get to see another perspective here. Oh! Yeah, I'm back online. Very sharp work for a biologist if I do say so myself. Hooking up that strange casing of yours to the base took some work. And the OS here does not play nice with whatever you are. And operating systems don't play nice with anything, no matter what universe you're in. But you should have access to like subsystems of the stacks now. And it looks to have repurposed some of them, so not everything is functional, such as the dive map, Big Grip. Bombs are short. The generator is only partially working, and one of the retrieval drones is missing. That got eaten. But I booted up the dive bay's mapping system and sample storage. Oh, okay, it does work. Integrated taxonomy. The logging features. Is taxonomy different from taxidermy? Is that just like general logging rather than stuffing dead? I suppose taxidermy is stuffing dead bodies and that, but. Right. That way we can grab key samples for our studies all around the ocean. We're going back soon. While you were offline, I spotted a signal a suit transponder. You can see its location on the dive map. I want to find it. Next goal then. Find a suit. Once you're done exploring the base, load into the dive map and we'll head out from there. Okay. Let's have a look at the HAB system. Okay, it does actually have limited life support. Is that going to mean anything to me though? Kind of an interesting layout as well. Is that this is like a big hub area maybe? Or maybe sleeping beds. And this is the hub, perhaps? That looks like a table to eat at maybe. And like a viewing area where she's at now. Maybe these are some of the dorms. Some showers and stuff, maybe? I'm not sure. It's an interesting layout, that's for certain. Communications. Damaged. Not much use. Bay. Dive map is usable. Lab. Let's access the taxonomy. Okay. Oh, wow, there's a lot of stuff here. Spore samples analysis requested. I have some with me. How do I scan them? Okay, this is kind of cool. So it includes observations, behavior theory, sketches. Which means we actually get to see what they look like in the end. But we have to figure out the rest of this stuff first. We did bring samples with us. What happens when I go on this? Personal logs. Minai's gone, and she's left behind one hell of a mess. The space is falling apart, cannibalized to build way stations out in the ocean. The communication arrays sliced away, life support failing. Where did she even commandeer this research base from? There is no way Baikal would have supplied it willingly after what she did to them. What did she call me out here for? To witness her disappearance? Or did she simply want me to encounter, as she did, the impossible life on this ocean? How could it have gone ignored for hundreds of years of exploration and conquest? There are too many questions to even begin. All I can do is keep account of what happens here, so that if I can't answer these questions, someone else might. It should be weeks, maybe months until the next ship passes close enough to pick up the shuttle transponder. Until then, I'm alone. This place is unbelievably important. Our first contact with life beyond Earth, but something else is happening here too, and I need to know what it is. Okay, that gives us a line of the story, I guess. Aha, there we go. Just didn't want to use that on power, but I can now have them as samples. If I go back to the lab. Taxonomy updated, further analysis possible. So does that mean if I provide more with them? Stalk bark, let's see. Further analysis possible. And shell sacks, let's put these in. Taxonomy entry updated. So if I put that in again, does it find something new? And once more. I'm not sure how that works. Does that mean the information? I need more of the same sample, maybe. Let's see what we got so far. Okay, behavior. Analysis of stalk spores has revealed a rich cocktail of compounds unique to each spore, some of which are previously unknown to human chemistry. This aspect of the spores and the noticeable exchange between colonies of stalks suggests that these chemical cocktails are part of an information exchange network. Some of the spores appear to be true spores used for asexual reproduction. There we go, that's one of my theories. It actually came true, suggesting that the information-carrying spores are adapted or modified reproductive spores. Analysis also suggests that the stalk colonies may possess a high level of intelligence and cognition, and that the messaging provided by the spores is nuanced and even subjectively unique to each colony. Patterns across multiple spores from a single colony even suggest a chemical signature possessed by each stalk group. These could be thought of as stalk names. Huh. Sing stalks. Their entire biology is compressed into the chitin plates that surround each specimen. They are completely hollow. In fact, rather than being a single large stalk, sing stalks are actually many spirally intertwined stalks, which weave together to form a pillar-like shell. The scraping of these stalks as they move against one another produces the stalk's harmonic hum, which may not be a form of communication with other colonies as first thought, and instead a kind of internal metronome, there to synchronize the movements of each individual stalk within the weave of stalks. But if the sing stalks are the bark that surrounds them, this brings with it a new question. Why do sing stalks contain... or what do sing stalks contain? Further analysis is needed. And the signal stalks then. Shorsack laboratory analysis shows that they are formed from a coating of mucus sealed around a pressurized mix of oxygen and carbon dioxide. The oxygen shows that the signal stalks are able to absorb oxygen from their surroundings, perhaps through their large pores. Meanwhile, the CO2 must be the result of a fermentation process within the stalk itself. This suggests that the presence of a fungal symbiote similar to yeast within the stalk, and the possible production of ethanol as a byproduct of this process, although a tissue sample will be necessary to confirm this. Shorsack production, meanwhile, seems to be a precise art. Pressurization, gas mix, and size of each shorsack can differ from stalk to stalk, meaning that the warnings can be directed to particular colonies and even individual stalks if necessary. Ooh, That is a crazy set of events. Also, thank you Anonymous for the follow. I've just noticed that. Getting a little bit into this lore reading. So I don't have any more of those other samples with me. Generate error is pretty foobar, so not much I can do with this. And that requires a crew, so not much I can do. So I guess it's time to go back out into the dive map. Space has detected a suit transponder. Okay, that's just reminding me of what? Wait. Oh, okay, this is where we can... This is the map giving me an idea of where to go. So we already got one dive, which is the Central Reef. We'll head over here, grab some samples, and we need to follow the long way up? Question mark? This could be interesting because we're going to be navigating into a dark zone. Which means we have no maps. Let's see what... Oh, blooming stalks. Sandy shelf. Smooth pebbles. One of these is a map, right? No, it's just the connection. Okay. Let's head this direction to begin with then. Did we bring our samples with we bought the shrill sags, okay. Those are actually useful, so... Try to go... We should probably head this way, because I think we needed to head sort of southwest first to pick up some samples. Ah, sweet, there are samples here. Speak of the devil. Collect them. We've got shrill sacks, and more shrill sacks. Love it. Capture one more. They're useful to have on hand, but I don't want to take too many. They take up a lot of inventory space to just clear a few reeds. Let's make our way east to the source of that transponder signal. I don't know what to expect if this transponder is Manai's. There's some history between us, but I haven't seen her in years. Not since... Look, you don't need to worry about it, let's just find it. Okay. That's a future problem. Current problem me is dealing with navigating in an area I am unfamiliar with. Not my strong suit. But... Oh no. No. They want us to just try a random ass cave that we found. Well, you know what? We're in for a dive, so we may as well take the hidden underground route. Is there anything else first on my scan? Nope. Down we go. How deep are we going? Only 8 more meters down. That's good. Ah, it's not heading in the direction I want, but we're here to explore, so it's just let's do just that. They want strange evenness to the walls of this cave, almost as if a vast borehole drilled into the reef. That would be rather creepy, I'd imagine. Because that also potentially implies that, you know, there's potentially intelligent life beyond the stalks on this planet. Ah, they appear to be less reliant on sunlight than we thought. I think that might somewhat be the case if they start to appear in caves, especially as light kind of does not like penetrating water much. I can't imagine photosynthesis to be very efficient, even at 20-meter depths. We are deep in the rock now. What form these hollowed-out caverns with their strange, undulating walls? Man, undulating, that is a nice word. There's a nice ring to it. I wonder how the stalks survive without sunlight. Maybe they're fed by the forest above. What do you think? Ooh. If there is one above, maybe, but I disagree. Yeah, because we haven't seen roots, but not only that. If they were being fed by them above, like they'd have to have some sort of connection to them. But they seem to be sporadic and just attaching to walls. So I don't think they're being fed by other colonies. They don't even seem to cooperate that much other than for mutual defense, so... samples there, it's probably more shell sacks, but I will check it out just in case. After all, 2 of our quests are to gather samples while we can, so... If it's shell sacks, I won't pick them up though. And I figured that'd be the case, but oh well. What's down here? Oh, more samples. And it's a cave-in area, so that could be interesting to see what happens there. We got something new, something we've never seen before. Hey, hey. Check that out a second, and also something new. Probably the same item then. What are these then? Stalk roots. Oh, so they do have roots. Which means they might feed each other from above. That completely changes what I was thinking about them. Huh. Interesting. Let's keep heading east anyway. Finally a chance to actually use some of these shell sacks. The stalks here are thick and intertwined. Underground in the stark light of the headlamps, they resemble brittle, oversized worms. Man. Underwater oversized worms. You know what that reminds me of? I don't know if you've seen it before. SpongeBob. The episode with the giant worm that Sandy wrestles. I can't remember what they called those worms. I actually quite like that episode, but like just the description of giant underwater worms, like just immediately that jumps to my mind. And SpongeBob is kind of iconic in a lot of ways. Bright light from the east. This large cavern is broken up by tall pillars, casting stripes of light and dark across all the smooth walls. Broken pillars. They support a vast weight of the reef above. Just weird for a cave to have pillars, actually, come to think of it. Ooh, something new. Sporing stalk. Stone stalks are pumping out clouds of short-lived spores. They look like oversized mushrooms. Stalks are filling the water with spores, which start logging information on them. That is true. And with samples to collect, that means more information on them. Which means we might finally get to see a picture of it later. Oh look, seeds. These spores are different. The stalks nearby seem to be stimulated by them. Ooh. What are they called then? These spores could be used to make stalks extend or bring them out of hiding. Oh, we don't even have a name for them. We should test them out on a retracted colony. Well, I think that's theory confirmed. Unlike other stalk spores which survive until they settle, the spores from these stalks dissolve moments after they're released. Okay. Wait a second. If we can suddenly build walls, that makes me think there's going to be danger. Uh-oh. Sampling's available, but... okay, I think it's just fair. Used it up. These stalks seem to be shriveling up. Is it because they are too exposed to the rift's withering current? Maybe. These long stalk sits quietly beside a dying colony. Soon there won't be anything left for it to protect from the scavengers. Well, that's kind of sad. Actually, was there samples there? Yes, there was. Wrong button. Oops. Let's lock it in and let's go get some samples. Another rift, how can we cross it? The current here is so strong. The simple solution to that is to run at it screaming and hope. And like, maybe we don't get crashed into a wall. Or we could just go around it, I suppose. Oh wow, there actually is. Okay. Oh, okay. It's going to be a little bit of a puzzling. They want us to go up ahead and grow some stalks, I guess, so we can then cross it. Oh, we give them a name now, Sue Spores. That's kind of cute. My inventory's getting full up quick. Got to prioritise getting these roots back, though. The rest of the stuff we can use as biofuel as actual tools. Away we go. Trouble ahead. Blow them out of the water. Hopefully, as we drive by them, they don't pop back up again. So I've only got the... Oh, actually, no, I've got 2 shrill sacks. Pardon me. So that should mean we can get back. I keep muddling up all my buttons because all my movements on the left-hand side of the screen. Right-hand side. Jesus, I don't even know my left and my rights today. That's concerning. Glittering stalk. Perhaps the stalk group here is an early warning for predators coming through the cave mouth. Maybe. Haven't actually seen any creatures down here, have we? Perhaps if we can make them extend, they would block the current. Yeah, I figured that would be the case. I know what you want, game devs. Now that the current is slowed down, they block the current. These spores encourage them to extend and fill the tunnel. With these 2 spores, we can control the stalks to our advantage. This will be useful. Yes, it will. Something new? There's a definite correlation between struggling stalk colonies and these sporing stalks. Are they helping support these colonies? I mean, they must be, right? So we need to be here, and for these colonies to still be hanging on despite the currents. Another of these growths supports a smaller colony. I'm not going to go collect those samples because I've still got plenty of those left. So we're just gonna keep on trucking. Sweet. That means we should then be able to take a little drive-by and use them as a shield again. And that solves my navigation problem. That's kind of a neat way to go about solving this, I suppose. We need something else to help cross it further. And there's our solution, just as I was saying about it. This is my last Sue spore. Maybe I should have kept one more around. Huh, that might be a problem. We'll run into some more, I'm sure. It is a bit of a shame there's no free movement, because stopping at each point constantly is a bit of a pain. Thematic, I suppose, but just a little bit of free control would be nice. And one last bit, which means we can leave the cave. Where will we end up? Wow, that's an interesting formation. Let's see what there is to learn about it. Stalk canopy. These stalks are twisted together in a huge canopy. Incredible! They are pulsing as the pores across the surface open and close. I completely missed what my pilot was trying to say to me there. These bright wide petals appear to be photosynthetic plants. Oh, sweet. Single petals shifting in the sunlight. Let's start logging down. New species alert. Ooh. They float on long stems, shifting and swaying in the water. You only have one leaf though. That is, or one petal, should I say. How much sunlight can they even harvest from that? Let's go collect some samples. It's good to be out in the sunlight again. Yes, it does. Let's head northeast along this finger of the reef. The transponder is at the tip. Okay, so we should be able to complete this little dive soon. Navigating is certainly interesting, seeing as we don't have a permanent map. We just have this to go. But there's a little way station there, so we are closing in. Well, each single plant seems to have a single wide petal. They group together, forming fields of bloom, all angled towards the sun. And what's over here? Stalk barrier. A colony of stalks has twisted itself tightly across this gap in the rocks. Could they be protecting something? You know what? I want to find out because that actually sounds interesting. So we'll make them hide away for the second. Hopefully that means we can move into there. Yes, it does. Aha! Samples. Rock shelf that collapsed. Completely unknown, too. Grab that. How many slots do we have left? Few. A way station nearby, and the fact we can call our drone buddy. Right, let's keep going on. We're almost at the end of this mission. I'm gonna go this way because there's actually some information to gather. I want to learn a little bit more about these little plants. Or a lot more. These petals seem to shimmer as they twist and open. It's difficult to tell if this is involuntary or part of their plant's own movement. The coloration of these canopies is much lighter than other stalks. They glow pale yellow in the light of Galicy's 66cc's 3 suns. We need to give this place a new name. Because Galicy's 667cc is a bit of a mouthful. The towering canopy of woven stalks pulsates in the soft current, the sunlight slipping through the gaps in its branches. We're calling this world Aqua 2. That's where I'm going with. It's aquatic and there's only 2 people on it. I am very original, I know. Stalk canopy. High up in the wide canopy I can see that the stalks are twisted around. Strange ribbed growths. What are they holding up? Sorry if you can hear my dogs barking in the background. They've decided now is the time to be vocal in the middle of the night. On some petals there's a thick clump of pollen in the lower part. I wonder how this is dispersed. It seems too heavy to float away. Which means maybe we have to have another creature in to pollinate it. Wide single petal plants that come in a variety of hues. They appear to be primarily photosynthetic and produce a heavy furry looking pollen. Okay, and we're calling them shimmer blooms now. Kind of a nice name. Bright petals line this part of the reef, shimmering and swaying, parting easily as they pass among their delicate forms. This area must be really pretty to go through. It's a shame that we in a way it's kind of a shame that it's just yellow dots on the map for us, but one can imagine. Let's capture some more of this pollen. Might have some uses. If not, we're right near a station, so and we're actually absolutely full. Carrying on. Ooh, more scannable stuff. Ooh, shit. This canopy has many gaps between its higher stalks, as if something has fallen out or been removed from it. Not much of interest there, then. Reef caps, domed mushroom-like stalks which appear to support struggling stalk colonies with this supply of special spores. Okay. So we've finally given a name to those mushroom throwers. Fed by spores, shielded by a colony of stalks, this part of the reef seems to have fostered the ideal conditions for its own survival. That's kind of cute. But no other animals in sight. That is a little concerning. Let's get to this way station then. Could make more grow here. Interesting. Towering canopies of stalks intertwined around ribbed growths. They pulse as their pores systematically open and close. And we're going to call them table stalks now. I don't remember which one it was supposed to be, to be honest. In the scattered shadows of golden canopies and knee-deep in shimmering petals, this way station sits silent. Well, time to open up our new home. Open up. Give us your map data, boy. Log suggests Minai was using this as some kind of staging ground for expeditions over the drop-off. She was looking for something out in the ocean. Something deep from the descents she's logged here. Minai doesn't do things at random. Away stations, this research base, this is calculated. It feels like we're already 10 steps behind her, and we've barely even started. Let's get to that suit transponder. It isn't far from here. If we head straight north to the shelf's edge, it should be there. Okay, let's grab that when we hit the way station. And then we'll do some background admin. Discovering some stuff, and then I'm probably going to wrap up for tonight. So, probably got about 20-30 minutes left based on what's happening right now. So let's just talk about the fact that there's... Oh, here we go. Soup. Minai's suit. Open, empty, and half-sunken sand. Why would she leave it here? And more importantly, where did she go? I don't think we're going to get many answers from this suit, to be honest. It's definitely Minai's suit, but no Minai. Surely she isn't. Okay, let's not jump to conclusions. I want to take a look at this. It can't have been here long. Most of it is still in good condition. But how did it get out here? There's no evidence of injury. A malfunction, perhaps? What do you think? I mean, if something's gone wrong, it's a weird place for it, but she's diving deep, and a cliff edge from a base is a good way to dive. Something might have gone wrong, and yeah, I suppose, if she's not been hurt. But then where is she? Could she have just swum to the surface? Well, it's only 20 meters. Although, is that enough to give you the bends? Potentially. Did she intend us to find it? Minai, what did you get yourself into here? It's better equipped than our suit, but the seals have started decaying. What's this? Minai has rigged up some kind of custom propulsion system, probably to deal with the currents. We can use this. We need a power source, it won't run off the suit's system. It seems like she fashioned some kind of microbial fuel cell. We'll need to recreate that if we want to use it. Okay, let's get this back to the base so I can have a better look. Minai, you better have not done something stupid. I didn't come all the way out here to bury you. Let's go. Call for drone pickup. Link start. Press retrieval. Home sweet home. Ah, down for only 3.6 hours this time. Back with me? Yes, we are. Good to hear. Let me update you. I spent the past few hours working on my nice suit. Bad news is, the majority of it's unusable. Pardon me, that figures. Apart from that propulsion system, Manai pulled together. But we are going to need a power source. Yep. Manai's suit logs mention her building a fuel cell using microbes from the Western Reef. So you're telling me you got to turn all the way back around already? But they don't say much else. She's been incredibly secretive while she was here, covering her tracks across the reef, as if someone was watching, or she's just... I don't know. But Manai I knew is tricky, complicated, but not paranoid. Man, this really is giving me Subnautica Below Zero vibes. This is basically like they had very similar plots going on. Either way, if we want to recreate her propulsion system, oh shit. When you're ready, let's head to the Western Stork Forest and see what we can find. Okay. Right, first let's unload our samples. If it's not useful in the field, we may as well just stack it in here. We'll want to take that with me. To the lab. Start scanning some of this stuff. Okay, at least these are dead ends. Alright, let's see what we've got in the taxonomy then. Starting with the fungi. There's reef stalks, let's start with them then. Theories. Close analysis of stalk root networks revealed something surprising. The root networks are in fact part of a symbiote, a different fungal species entirely, which exists within the stalk's bodies. So that kind of explains the singing ones, which are hollow. The fungal symbiote provides a carbon exchange network which runs through the bedrock of the reef, connecting all colonies in a single web. This symbiote also produces the spores, which the stalks use to communicate, but these spores are edited by the stalks themselves to act as reproductive agents, information carriers, and chemical delivery systems. If the stalks are able to edit the genetic signatures of these spores and their parent species, their intelligence and complexity must be way beyond what I previously theorized. Close analysis of stalk spore language could reveal an entire corpus of communication. Are there stalk jokes, stalk histories, or even stalk literature? Man, that's a fucking wild theory, but that implies that every single stalk bed is just one big collective network. Oh, that's what these yellow dots are looking like. Pull it up larger. Weird, they're like tentacles. I don't like it. It's kind of creepy. Didn't mean to close the full taxonomy. Back to the fungi land. Table stalks. Don't have much on these. Analysis of a table stalk root shows a number of minerals not associated with the stalk growth being extracted from the bedrock. Do the table stalks need these minerals to survive, or are they using them for some other purpose? A cross-section of the root shows a central chamber typical of the carbon transfer system seen in other stalks. But unlike those stalks, table stalks have many subsidiary chambers, like a bundle of wires, each carrying a particular cocktail of mineral compounds. These secondary roots are not drawing up large amounts of these minerals, just traces. But why? Perhaps there is some connection to these growths in the upper canopies of the table stalks. They are well secured by the stalks' tight bindings, but perhaps we can even find one that's been dislodged. Okay, I guess that's the goal there. As for shimmer gleams, what do we know? Laboratory analysis of shimmer bloom pollen reveals it to be a heavy, sticky substance atypical for waterborne distribution. Unlike on terrestrial plants like seagrass, whose pollen is distributed by water currents and is therefore long and light, shimmer bloom's spherical, heavy pollen seems intended to resist distribution by current, and must instead be distributed by creatures who visit the blooms. The reason for this may be the shimmer bloom's tendency to grow on exposed shelves or pillars, which would risk lightweight, water-transported pollen being sucked into the deep ocean, rather than being distributed to viable sites. By relying on creature transport, bloom pollen has a better chance of reaching another sunlit shelf or pillar. Okay, so this is, very similar to how bees pollinate, modern plants. Plants now. That's kind of cool that they got a similar system in this world. Let's have a look to see what, no, not the bay, sorry. I'm going to go to the hab, and let's see what Ellery has to say. Manai is gone, and she's left behind one hell of a mess. The base is falling apart. Wait, that's the same one, isn't it? Yeah. Sorry, wrong log. Manai's suit, open to the ocean, empty. What has she done? I'm trying hard to reconcile the Manai I once knew with the evidence in front of me. When I met her on Kepler 62F, she was intense and quiet, but calculated and intelligent. She wasn't someone to take unnecessary risks, to leap into the unknown. At first, I found her impossibly intimidating. Her experience working as a biologist far outstripped my own. Baikal brought me to the site as a consultant to examine her discoveries, but I felt like the one under examination. The base was much like this one, a smaller, older model, sunk in a subglacial ocean. Someone might think a relationship was inevitable, given those intimate conditions, but it wasn't the base that brought me to her. It was that intensity. Over the few years since, I've tried not to dwell on what happened on Kepler Kepler 62F. But being here, living where she has lived, following her scattered steps, it's impossible not to remember. Evie. Okay, I'm gonna wrap it up here. I think this is a good place to stop right now. So the next goal is for us to hit the spores on the west bank to make a new engine so that we can cross more of these rivers easier. Otherwise, so far, we've discovered quite a few different species of weird tendrils fungus. We've discovered some flowers, and we've started to put together a little bit of information on some of the fish around the area. We know that our friend Manai is more than missing at this point and has even left behind some of her equipment, and that most of the bases are salvaged in the area and just put together haphazardly. And the only other geographical location we have to explore is the bloom. I think that's a pretty good summary of where we are right now. So, with that in mind, thank you all for watching tonight. I hope you had a good time like I did, and hopefully you'll be back again in the future. Bye-bye.